Well, out here at Lowe's, just got all the conduit for the 4-wire 3-phase. Went with 3-inch conduit, got 8 pieces, so 80 foot. And then I have 2 really long 24-inch radius 90s that I'm going to use to come off the barn. And then I got a 45 to angle over towards the pole and a 90 to come up at the pole. And of course, special conduit cement. It's a little bit different than the cement for regular plumbing, but get this loaded up and get going on this conduit. Might as well get this in. $700 for all this, but 3 inches is the way to go if you're going to be doing 4-wire 3-phase. And I can pull the cable whenever I want because that corner is going to get buried in 4 or 5 foot of fill. So get this in. Working on getting that conduit laid, and it's going to be 3-inch for 4-wire 3-phase. So I had a 24-inch radius 90, and then 30 inches of straight 45. And then it's basically a straight shot for 10, 20, 30, 40, for 50 foot. Straight shot for 50 foot. And then I got one more 45. And then I'm probably gonna extend this a little bit so it comes up right here. And then screw it, get those C brackets, or whatever they're called. Screw it to the pole. And then run another section up eventually when I get the power hooked up. But the plan's to put a 3-phase transformer all the way at the top of that pole, run from those 3 wires, the transformer down, then all the way up into the side of the pole barn. Gonna put the meter on the outside of the pole barn. So I want to get that meter. I want to get the conduit ran because this side I'm going to have to fill 4 foot. So there's no way to run it after the pad's built because it's going to be all stone. So get that done and you're in pretty good shape. Pretty happy with how that looks. Next thing I'm going to do now that I got the perimeter all marked out of the entire run, I'm probably going to dig a couple inches wider on each side, the shovel's width, and then I got to go down 18 inches as code. And then I'm probably going to wait to glue it together until the trench is dug. I might get the trench dug and then glue it all together and drop it in, or might glue it while I'm in the trench. I want to, since I'm hand digging this, I want to dig as small of a trench as possible, even though it's really not that long. So I'm going to get digging here soon on this really windy day. Making a little bit of progress on the trench. Went down about 12, 14 inches. Got to go down a couple more inches, but it fitment's real nice. I mean, this is the only corner that really needs to be perfect. Other than that, it's just a straight shot all the way down. One more 45 and then straight again. So pretty easy. Again, I want to put a transformer on that 5 foot of pole. There's plenty of room to put a 3-phase, a 4-wire 3-phase transformer, because Pico actually technically owns that pole and they have an easement to put it on my property to serve electric to my house. So they should be able to run 3 wires from the top 3 on the public poles to the transformer, and then I'll pull it myself through all the conduit up into here, put a meter right here on the outside, and I think that's going to work out really nice. So that way I don't have to run like a sub panel for my house, and I don't want, you know, I want true 3-phase. I want to get the real stuff in here. Just never know if I'm going to be putting CNC machines, lathes, my lifts 3-phase, get all that done properly. So I gotta go down a couple more inches here. And yeah, I did have 811 dig come out. My neighbor's electric, he has an easement to come off my pole. It's supposed to be within 10 foot of the property line, but it's within 15. It's out of the easement, which it shouldn't be, but there's nothing I can do at this point because it's not really in the way. But you can see I have a good 5 foot between the electric there and this cable right here. Actually used to be an old Comcast cable that was abandoned, and then they buried another illegal one, and then I tore that out and then had them buried on my neighbor's property over there. But I was wondering when I was going to hit that, and I did finally confirm it is a coax cable and it is the Comcast. It is abandoned, and one dig said that is not a live cable, but I can cut it out, so that's good news, because it kind of got really close to some of these poles and I feel like it might have hit them. But it doesn't matter, it's all abandoned and all the Comcast is out of here. So now the only cable that exists is the electric, which is fine because it has an easement. There's an easement for that. Oh, just about got all the trenching done. Got a solid 21 to 24 inches. So they want between, we Obviously you want 18 inches from the top of the conduit, so I have 3-inch conduit, so 18 plus 3 is 21. Let's see, we got our 24. Anywhere from 21 to 24. Got like 20, 23 there. 24 there. Starting to fill up with water down here, which is weird because it's all frozen over there. So anyway, I'm gonna keep going down. I'm gonna get video evidence of this in case township says anything. Once proof. 22, 24, 24, and stopped right about here. It's like 25. Still got to finish up right over here. Might be able to see some of the water. It's not much, but I'll start laying the conduit now. Of course, it's crazy windy again today, so the audio is probably going to be absolutely awful. But I can do without that. And just got a 45 over to the pole. Oh, hit my neighbor's Comcast, or cable again. Coax cable. This is all disconnected. This is why I wanted all these illegal Comcast and coax cables out of my yard, because it's a freaking minefield back here now. And I keep hitting these damn cables. So anyway, I got them all out now. This one's deactivated, and the new one they buried. See, all up there, all the way, dug it 160 foot, dug the whole thing out. Get all that crap out of there because I'm sick of hitting it. So, I mean, now I only got the electric, but making progress. Got everything glued. Just working on this 45 here. Need to cut this cable now and clean things up. And I can start laying this all out and make sure that's gonna fit, and should have plenty of room between the electric and where mine's going. So I'm not too worried. It's about 2 foot, so should be good. Well, was working on my conduit and almost got killed. I had 811 dig out a couple days ago, and they marked my neighbor's electric. They marked it as one line all the way up to his house. Plenty of room. I had 2.5 foot between here and the center of my trench. I'm digging, and literally a couple inches from my shovel's a couple inches forward. I push it in the ground, pull out the dirt, and I go down. I'm hand digging around, getting all the loose dirt out by hand, and I find these 2 freaking cables. So I said, 811 dig, get the hell out here immediately. You know, what the frick's going on? Why didn't you mark these? And they came out, and apparently 2 of the cables do this big loop. So this is, there's 2 hots in the neutral. So what they must have done, for God knows why, this was done in the 70s, so God knows what they were on. They ran 2 cables, 2 hots together in this big loop, and they ran the neutral by itself. And they all go back together, so I don't understand why they would do that. I've never heard of that before. The guy never heard of it before. My electrician never heard of it before. Why they would do something like that. Dangerous. And then it crosses over right here somewhere. Fortunately, I didn't hit anything here. I mean, it's scary, you know, that they didn't mark this right. There's no reason they should have ran the 2 hot separately, because they go back together anyways. It's not like they would have done it for interference reasons, unless they replaced the cable at some point, because they come back together. So if they did it for, you know, interference reasons, it doesn't matter. They go back together anyway. So weird. Don't know why they would do that. Quite scary. But anyway, I'm deep enough now that I can finish this conduit up. You know, it's just crazy that they wouldn't run all 3 cables together. Never heard of that before. It's already bad enough that this electric's outside of the easement. It's supposed to be 10 foot off that pink string. It's like 20. It was a disaster. So I'm getting ready to pull a fish. Got some silicone couplers left over from my car build here. That fits in there perfectly. Got a pretty powerful shot back. Gotta turn that on and walk all the way down there, and I should have a whole bunch of suction at that end. And then I can get a plastic bag, attach it to a really lightweight string, pull it all the way through, pull it up, and then pull a real thicker string all the way back. And then I'll leave that out for when I go to pull the cable later when the barn's built and after everything's buried and set up. So I'm gonna turn this on, see what happens. Should be a really strong vacuum on this end. I can hear it actually already. That's a pretty good vacuum. So now I'm gonna go get some plastic bag, tape it to a string, drop it in there, and it should shoot all the way up, pop out on that end. See if it works. It's gonna be tough to film one-handed, but I'll try. There she goes, baby. Come on, girl, hit the other end. Money, money. Nice thing about it, so if you have one of these baffles, it kind of auto stops for you. So now I just push it out through there. Pull it out this end. It's gonna be a little tough to pull, but I'll get it through. And that's it. I can tie a really big rope to this thick rope and pull that through, and now I have a fish round for when I want to put in the wire. Just wanted to do that before I buried all this in case there were any issues. Conduit is all done and installed. Everything's glued. I'm gonna have to add like a 4 or 5 foot section on here since we're filling 4 or 5 foot, like 4.5 foot on this end. Yeah, it came out really good. 45. Go straight all the way down. I don't know if you can even see the conduit. There it is. Straight all the way down. Got some water in the pit. 945s. 90 up right in the pole. And fabricate a little piece to go straight up this pole and get some C-clamps and make it all nice and pretty. And I'm happy with that. So again, get a 90, 45, straight all the way down. I might try and drain some of this water out. Good to me. Well, I used that little pink string that I pulled with the vacuum, taped it up to a really thick 1/2-inch rope, 500-pound rated, pulled it all the way through from that end to here, and it worked great. And the rope didn't pick up any water, so that means that my joints are probably pretty good because a lot of this has been sitting in water because it's just been very wet out lately. I don't know why this trench is filling with water, but whatever. You get dirt back on it, we're good to go. So now when I get the quad wrap, quad 0 gauge, I can tape it to this and then just pull it all the way through again, and that's good to go. Don't need to pay anyone $1,000 to pull a cable. You can do it yourself with just stuff I found around the house. Easy money. Conduit's all done. Ropes pulled all the way through. It's up through there, all the way down through here. I'm not gonna worry about this too much because this is all gonna get destroyed when I build the barn. Shoots out right there, goes straight up. I got more of these C-clamps. I got 2 more, but I want to get some lag bolts or lag screws, whatever you want to call them, because the head's too small on all the screws I got. It's a pretty big hole in that clamp because it's for 3-inch, but doesn't look too bad. And then wire will come straight out of there up into the 3-phase transformer. That was a project, wow. Got the conduit all finished up. Put a stake in, the metal zip tied to the stake so this doesn't get banged around or snapped or anything. Because again, it's gonna be filled probably up to there. Bagged, taped, ropes pulled. Don't want any water getting in there. I mean, water's gonna get in there eventually, but I don't want any water getting in there until I got the electric pulled. Got this all finished up. Had to play around with this 90 to get it snug to the pole. A little bit of a bend to it, but I got it pretty snug. going up. So I got these little C-clamps with some 5/16 flag screws, and they went in real nice. So I'm happy with that. I think it looks good. A little bit of a bow, but I mean, this got a bow too. It's really hard to get it right up against the pole because they bury these huge blocks of wood and they screw the poles to these blocks of wood and get all kinds of crap in the way. And the neighbor's electric was doing that funky route and just trying to avoid everything. So good enough for city work. That's all done, and now I need to do over by the house. I want to rough in 4 foot or so long of conduit for hot and cold water and for communications, and also for sewer in case I put a sink in there. That's got to go 4 foot down. So done with the electric. Oh, we got 1 week away from starting the construction, so I figure I'll get the rest of this conduit in. I'm gonna get a 3-inch sewer, a 3-inch conduit for hot and cold water, and then I guess probably like a 1-inch for communications like Ethernet. So I got poles every 8 foot on this side. So there's a pole here, and then I got all this space, and then another pole here. So I'm gonna put this split in the middle at 12 foot, and then do a foot out on each side for a total trench width of 2 foot. And then I'm gonna go down 18 inches for the entire trench, and then go down another 18 in the center. So 36 in the center, 18 on the sides, 36 for the water, 18 inch for everything else. So I got about a nice little 25 foot run here. I got some tarp. I'm gonna put down some tarp here, put all the dirt on, so that way I can get it back in easy and don't make too much of a mess around here, and get going. Construction starting up here real soon. I want to get this done, get this conduit in. Made some great progress here on the trench. It's about 25 foot long, about anywhere from 2 to 3 foot deep and 2 foot wide. A lot of dirt in there. So I got to level it a little bit because the land naturally slopes this way, but I need the sewer to slope that way. So I kind of got to, basically it's a foot lower than it is, you know, down here than it is up there. So I got to take a whole other foot off there to bring it level, and then slope it down a little bit towards the house so that sewer goes in and runs downhill into the house and not uphill and gets stuck. So gonna work on that, then I can go get all the tubing and piping and get this crap done, because I am sick of digging trenches. Got that big one in over there, that one's been good. Get this barn up. Oh, getting the rest of the stuff for the house side. Got some more 3-inch conduit. It's going to be multi-purpose for getting power through initially. I'm setting up the 3-phase, and also eventually for 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch packs hot and cold. Got just 2-inch sewer. Gonna tap into the sewer at my house. Got a nice 36-inch long radius for the conduit. Got some hydraulic cement, all kinds of saws, hole saws and everything, and get all this crap in. Then we'll have sewer, conduit, water, 3-phase, everything your little heart can desire. Just about wrapping my trench up. Got a solid 3 foot deep, 2 foot wide, 25 foot long. Got all my conduit, started laying some things out. Big 36-inch radius, shoot straight down, go right into the frickin' house. I got some carbide hole saw bits. I can shoot a hole, punch a hole right through there, and then I got some hydraulic cement I'll seal it all up with. But yeah, oh my God, is this a lot of work? This frickin' thing killing me. But see what we're looking at height-wise. Got about 40 inches over here, and then it's between like 36 and 40 inches. It's going to be in conduit, so I'm not worried about it freezing, because there's going to be air going between the house and the pole barn through the conduit, so it should keep it warm. Frost line is 36 inches here, so I think 36 inches inside conduit, 36 to 40 should be plenty. I know they want like 6 inches below the frost line, but I really don't think I can go any deeper than this by hand. I mean, 40 inches is deep by hand, and I think that's going to be plenty. Plus, there's always going to be the ability to add more soil on top of this when the barn's up. This slopes down about a foot from the house to the barn, so I'm probably going to bring all this up add another foot of soil all here, bring it all up and nice and level and even with the barn. So that'll give me some more distance too. Anyway, pretty happy with it. Gonna start playing with the conduit fitment. I ended up going a little bit deeper in the trench over in this corner, another couple inches. So basically the pipe kind of hugs this little groove I built. You can see all the way down. It's a couple more inches deep. So now I have a solid like 36 inches to the top. The frost line I think is 30, and then we'd add +6, so 36 to wherever your pipe is. I'm gonna get the tape measure out and measure everything, but I mean, it's deep. She's under there. So I'm gonna measure to the bottom of this trough, and I'll probably measure to the top of the conduit. It doesn't really matter, the conduit. That's in, you know, measuring to the top. Really just gotta make sure that the water is at least 36. Right, let's see where we're at. 36. 36. 36. 36. 36. 38. Really deep over here, 42, but that's fine. So we have a minimum of 36 inches to the bottom. That's perfect. Well, just got the 3-inch conduit in. Got a nice 36-inch radius and 2.5 straight sections. I got my hole drilled and everything. And yeah, it sits in there really nicely, and I got a full 36 inches, so the PEX water lines running through there shouldn't have any freezing issues. And yeah, basically this is 3.5-inch OD, so I used a 4.5-inch hole saw. So you can see now basically I got to pack that with hydraulic cement. So let me pull this out. Let me see if I can pull this out. And then I'll show you my hole. So there it is. And just straight hole saw through. Special, it's a special bit for block. And then sewer is going to come in a little bit higher up here, maybe a little bit, like maybe up here, and I'll kind of 90 that this way, and it's going to go downhill, and it'll connect either into down here or somewhere between here. We'll see where the position ends up. But what I'm thinking about is just extending that a little bit longer, putting another Y, and then it can 90 down, connect into there. I can cut that cap out and re-glue it on the other Y. And I think that'll work really well and have all the sewer tied in. I'll have 3-inch conduit for running any kind of power. I can run some extension cord through it first, and then I'll have room for the pipe and everything. And I mean, I got plenty of room now to run whatever I want through this. And I'm probably gonna do another 1-inch conduit for communications. Getting this all centered up, got it pretty centered. And now I'm just gonna pack it with hydraulic cement, just a quick creep brand. Comes in powder, mix it with some water. Biggity bam boom, you're good to go. So yeah, get that pretty well centered, and just wanna tweak it a little bit more. Oh, got the conduit finished up last night. This is all fully in now. And I used some hydraulic cement to seal everything. And I got it very well sealed around the entire pipe and perfectly sealed underneath. I'm really happy with this. It dries rock hard and very quick. I'm gonna go ahead and just touch it up, put a little bit more around it just to make sure before I start burying this up. And then I'm gonna cover this with dirt, and then I can start grading this trench to slope it down towards the house and start putting in the sewer. And yeah, I'll start doing that and get this done with, because I'm sick of digging trenches. Working on getting the plumbing in. I ran a line level from here all the way to the wall, and I had it so it's sloping that way because the land naturally slopes this way. So if I were to lay it in the trench flat, basically the water would flow backwards and would never make it to the house. So I got a line level on this puppy. Maybe you can see it right here. And you can see basically I'm gonna start at the top up there, And by the time I get down here, I'm gonna be about here-ish. So if we take our line level, put it on the line, you can see, I gotta adjust it a little bit, but basically we want it to be sloping down that way. So I gotta go a little bit more, and then we'll be in a pretty good shape. I can spray paint this, or basically what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start filling in dirt on this side, building it up over here, and gradually building a ramp down into it, and just keep sloping it down, make sure I have a real nice even slope. So I'm gonna go ahead and adjust this a little bit and get this perfectly level and mark it and start filling dirt and putting in some PVC. Well, I got the sewer plumbed up real nice. Started almost at the top here and ended all the way at the bottom there, almost like a 3-foot drop, because I had to count for another foot lower down here than it is up there. Plus I had to give it a foot or so pitch so that everything rolls in properly. But I'm gonna do a quick water test, dump this whole bottle, run inside, and make sure everything works. Should see this come flying out. There we go. Got a real nice flow to it. This way it's on a nice pitch, water won't build up, water won't freeze. Everything that's in that pipe, you can see it is gonna roll out eventually. And I'm gonna make sure, you know, cutting it close here. Definitely cutting it close here. I only got a cinder block to go down before the sewer, so I'm gonna try and just come straight up and 90 here, and then kind of just plug in the top or something. We'll figure it out. I think I got enough room, but we're getting there. Obviously gonna cut all these too. Had some extra time tonight, so I wanted to get this all fully plumbed in to the main sewer pipe that goes to my septic. So basically I just bought an adapter for, this is just a clean out. I had a threaded plug or a threaded piece in it. So I unthreaded that, threaded this in with tons of thread sealant, because basically I can't ever unthread that the way it's set up, but that's fine. This is just like a quick fix, you know, for if you want to extend stuff. Glued that to some 4-inch, just bought a 2-foot section, and then I got a 4-inch to 2-inch Y, 45, and then straight into the wall with the 90, and it's got a nice little slope to it. It'll be near impossible to see on camera, but if we get our level, you can see it's perfect. So right there, you can see it's all the way to the left. So this would be level. And now you can see that big gap. So it's plumbed real nice. I just tested it. The water flows all the way down through the wall. I popped open that clean out, made sure it flowed down and kept going down, and it does. And nothing gets stuck or back up and leaks out of that clean out. So quick, dirty, and easy. But yeah, don't look half bad. Nothing like doing some plumbing in the middle of the night. I really enjoy this stuff. So I had when I had my septic done, I had another plumber do all this, so I can't take credit for that, but I'll take credit from here to there and all the way to the barn. Just got to get an LB for this. I can't find 3-inch LBs locally, and that's basically, where is my LB? Here it is. I bought one for the 1-inch, but that's one of these boxes. So obviously I need a 3-inch one, but I'm going to cut that down to the wall, put a 3-inch LB there, and then run that straight up. And then basically water is going to come from over there straight down. I'll have this LB where I can, you know, help pull it through, and then 90 or straight all the way to the barn. And that's 4 foot under, so that won't freeze. We got our sewer. And then last thing I got to do is I got some 1-inch conduit. It's probably going to go up there. I don't know, I might run it up the side of the wall outside and then in using this LB. It'll be like that, but it'll be on the outside. And then I'll just come through the wall here and I can run whatever Ethernet or fiber or whatever into that for communications. Oh man, this is a lot of work getting this stuff stubbed in, but I'm probably saving thousands upon thousands of dollars. Just the excavation alone, hand digging, it probably saved $2 grand, $2-3 grand between this and the conduit by the electrical pole. I mean, I'm all together, doing all the conduit myself and hand digging it, gotta be saving $5,000. So a lot of work, but well worth it. Just dumped some water. And we're gonna see if we can see it through the clean out. Oh yeah, there it goes. I might have to get a strap to bring this pipe up a little bit so it doesn't leak back out. But I think it was just because there was so much water coming through. You can see it's draining down. Cool, all done. I'm gonna get this doped up and we're good to go. That's flowing perfectly, and you can see it's all gone. It's all went down. So everything's sloped very nicely. Just about finished up here. Got everything stubbed out, everything glued. Started backfilling. Got my LB in over here. First she went straight, 90'd up, and then into the LB. This LB unscrews so that I can fish the cable through this way and then push it down. So that way there's not a big restriction here. And it also stops water. If this conduit ever cracks, it also stops groundwater from getting into it and flowing into the house. I have to do the same thing for the big 3-inch that's buried under there, but I'm gonna put the LB on the inside because that needs to stay underground so the water lines don't freeze. Anyway, came out pretty good. And yeah, I just did a hydraulic cement all around it, and I got some paint. I can clean that up with this blue paint. There's some leftover from the previous owners. So I'll touch that up, make that nice and pretty. And it's kind of nice that this gray kind of matches. Got the outlet over there, and this is the only thing that's coming up. Sewer and other conduit are all buried 4 foot under. So yeah, just about done here. Just got to finish backfilling this, and that's it. Put tarp down on everything so I didn't get dirt all stuck in the grass, and it worked out pretty well. I mean, not that it matters because this whole area is probably gonna get destroyed when they start construction in a few days, but so be it. Beautiful day out. Had the sprinkler running for a little while, oversee at the mound, and yeah, beautiful. I'm gonna still have this entire field preserved, and all the house, the barn, everything, and I'll still have 50 foot behind the barn, and so much room for activity here. It's great. Got all the conduit in, everything backfilled. Left about like a foot between the wall and the conduit. Should be plenty. Tried putting some grass back, but kind of gave up because it's just gonna get destroyed anyway during construction. Have to put some topsoil over here. Got my LB all done. Got everything all cemented. Just got to do the inside. That's gonna be for Ethernet. And yeah, we're good to go. Conduits in. It was a 4-job day, or 4-day job. Pretty much 8 hours a day. It was a huge job. Got everything hydraulic cemented in here. I'm gonna get some white paint on that, make it look a little bit nicer. Gonna order the other fittings. I want to order a 3-inch LB, the same thing that's on the outside, but I want to do it on the inside for the 3-inch and run it straight up. So that way, if the conduit does ever crack or anything, like somewhere underground and somehow water gets in it, and the water flows this way, even though I sloped it that way and water should never come this way, it will pool up in that LB. I can maybe put a weep hole at the bottom, and basically it would have to rise all the way up in order to overflow. Finished up the plumbing last night, I already showed that. Really happy with that, no leaks. Plugged the hose into it today and just freaking cranked it for like 10 minutes. Checked the water was going into my septic tank all the way down the bottom of the hill. That's all good. This is all setting up real nice. And then, yeah, I'm just gonna chop this here. Maybe put like another 90 going straight up or something. And then all my Ethernet, you can see I already have one cable running from over there all the way to my office. But I don't know, this is all just, I just wanna have this in because when I start building that pad and it's all stone, it's gonna be impossible to dig through that stone to get all this conduit. And I just wanted to get everything in the house, everything stubbed out, everything done, and then all I gotta do is hook up. You know, the easy part, the hard part's done. Hopefully I just gotta do the easy part, you know, when the barn's up. Happy with that, and yeah, that's it. Next footage you guys will see is the building the pad, the rock construction entrance, the driveway, and the pad. And then once that's done, get that barn up. Let's get it.